My child, I am speaking to you. Yes, you. Heaven stopped the winds for this moment. The angels paused their songs for your name. And if you leave now, you may miss the warning meant to save two souls. This message found you because your silence is louder than you realize. Your heart has been quiet, but your soul has been screaming. And your soulmate, they can feel it, even now. You have been wondering why your spirit feels restless, why your chest tightens at night, for no clear reason, why memories rise without invitation, why your dreams keep returning to the same face. This is not imagination. This is alignment. This is the pull of two destinies drifting too far apart. And heaven is intervening. Your silence has not been meaningless. It has been shaping a storm in the heart of the one who loves you. They are standing at the edge of a decision, a reckless one, a desperate one, a dangerous one. Comment I receive IT if you're ready for your miracle. Not because they no longer care, but because they care too much and feel abandoned in the quiet. They are confused. They are hurting. And right now, they believe you have moved on. They believe you no longer feel what they feel. Heaven is watching. The angels are speaking your name. You are being prepared for something big, but delay is creating chaos. Your absence is being misinterpreted as rejection, and rejection is pushing your soulmate toward a breaking point. They are about to do something they cannot undo, something driven by pain, not wisdom. And this is why I speak now. Before the moment passes, before the door closes, before regret is born, your soulmate is staring into the silence you left behind. They replay your last words over and over. They search for meaning between the pauses. They look for hope in what was never said. But silence can sound like goodbye to a wounded heart. And today, their heart is wounded. They are pretending to be strong. But heaven sees the cracks. They smile in public. They break in private. They tell themselves they are over you. But their tears still whisper your name. They are tired of waiting. They are tired of hoping. They are tired of believing in something that feels one-sided. And exhaustion is a dangerous advisor. So they are preparing to move. Not forward with purpose, but away with desperation, into a choice that will wound them deeply. They are about to distract their pain with something reckless. They are about to settle instead of wait. They are about to trade destiny for temporary relief, not because they want to forget you, but because they believe you forgot them. Your silence is shaping their next decision. Your absence is guiding their hand. And this is the moment of divine urgency. This is the second where time bends. Heaven is leaning close to your life. The angels are watching the clock. Type amen if you feel God is speaking to you right now. Because one message, one word, one small act of courage from you can stop a lifetime of regret. You think your silence is protection, but it has become confusion. You believe waiting is wisdom, but delay is becoming destruction. There are words locked inside your chest, and they are heavier than you know. You keep saying, soon, but soon is running out. You keep saying, when the time is right, but the moment is already passing. Fear has made you still, but love requires movement, and the one you love is mistaking your stillness for indifference. This misunderstanding is the battlefield. Heaven is not angry with you. Heaven is reaching for you, not to condemn you, but to awaken you. You were never meant to lose them this way. You were never meant to watch from a distance. You were meant to speak. You were meant to show up. You were meant to interrupt the lie they are believing about you, the lie that says they were never enough. They are standing at the edge of another life, one that was never written for them. And if they step into it, the echo will be permanent, not impossible to heal, but painful to undo. This is why your heart has been restless. This is why sleep has been strange. This is why their energy keeps entering your dreams. This is why their name keeps landing in your thoughts. It is not coincidence. It is intercession. Heaven is whispering through your spirit, because heaven knows the danger of this hour. Your soulmate does not need perfection from you. They only need truth. They do not need long speeches. They only need one honest sign of life. One message that says, I still feel this. One moment that says, you are not alone in this. You fear rejection, but they fear abandonment more. You fear saying the wrong thing. They fear hearing nothing at all. And right now, their fear is winning, because silence always speaks louder than uncertainty. They are interpreting your quiet as closure, and they are preparing to bury what still lives. But heaven is saying, not yet. Your story is not finished. Their story is not sealed. This connection was written in light, not meant to end in shadow. There is still time, but not forever. Delay is no longer neutral. It is becoming a decision, what you refuse to choose. Chance will choose for you, and chance is a cruel author. Your heart knows exactly what must be done next. Your spirit has already rehearsed the words. You keep waiting for certainty, but certainty grows only after obedience. You are asking for a sign, but you are the sign they are waiting for. Your voice carries more power than you realize. Your courage carries more healing than you measure. One step toward them can dismantle months of pain. One sentence can redirect a lifetime. Heaven is not asking you to impress. Heaven is asking you to appear. Show up in truth. Show up in vulnerability. Show up before it is too late, because late has a sound, and you are dangerously close to hearing it. Your soulmate is not evil. They are exhausted. They are not reckless. They are desperate. They are not trying to betray destiny. They are trying to survive the ache. And right now, survival looks like escape, unless you interrupt it with love. This is not pressure. This is rescue. This is not about pride. This is about timing. This is not about fear. This is about obedience. Because some miracles only happen after movement, and some doors only stay open for moments. The silence between you is growing heavy, and heavy things eventually fall. Heaven does not want this one to fall. This bond was forged on purpose. There are prayers you both whispered at different times, but they met in the same place. There were tears you cried alone, but they were counted together. There were lessons you learned separately, but they were designed to align. This separation was not meant to be permanent. It was meant to refine. But now refinement is turning into rupture, and rupture leads to regret. Unless you move, unless you speak, unless you choose love over fear, before fear chooses for both of you. I am not asking you to chase. I am asking you to answer, because they reached first in ways you never saw. They waited longer than you realize. They fought battles you never knew existed, all while hoping you would notice. And now, hope is dimming, but it is not gone. Not yet. If you speak now, the story changes. If you wait, the story hardens. Heaven is giving you a gentle window, but windows do not stay open forever. Your soulmate is about to do something crazy, not because they are weak, but because your silence made them believe they were forgotten. And forgotten people take dangerous steps. But you are here now, which means the warning arrived on time. This is the moment of intervention. This is the mercy before the misstep. You still have influence. You still have a voice. You still have permission to love out loud, even if your hands are shaking, even if your words are messy, even if your heart is racing. Fear will never disappear before action. It only dissolves after obedience. Do not wait for bravery. Move with trembling faith, because heaven moves with the willing, not the perfect. And right now, you are being called, not to be flawless, but to be present. Your soulmate does not need a miracle. They need reassurance. They do not need prophecy. They need presence. They do not need divine thunder. They need your voice. And heaven is saying, use it. Because if you do not, they will act from pain. And that pain will ripple farther than either of you expects. But if you move now, something beautiful interrupts the spiral. Something healing disrupts the chaos. Something sacred redirects the story. Heaven is watching. But heaven will not replace your choice. The angels are speaking your name, but they cannot speak for you. You are being prepared for something big, but preparation still requires participation. This is your moment of alignment. This is your turning point. Not because everything is easy, but because everything is sacred right now. The moment you decide to move, heaven moves with you. The instant you soften, the atmosphere shifts. What felt delayed begins to accelerate. What felt frozen begins to breathe. Your hesitation has been holding back a river, and one step cracks the dam. You think the message you send will be small, but in the unseen, it will sound like thunder. Your words will travel through realms you cannot see. They will reach a heart that has been bracing for impact. Your soulmate has already prepared for disappointment. They have rehearsed the pain. They have convinced themselves to expect nothing, so that nothing will not destroy them again. But heaven is about to surprise them through you, not with perfection, but with sincerity. The moment your message arrives, their breath will change. Their chest will loosen. Their hands will tremble as they read, not because they are weak, but because hope is rushing back into places that were dying. They will read your words again and again. They will stare at the screen in silence, trying to understand if the miracle is real. They will whisper, "It's them," and their spirit will recognize yours instantly. Because soul recognition never fades. It only waits. The reckless plan they were preparing to execute will begin to collapse, not with noise, but with quiet reality. They will start to question their impulse. They will pause where they were about to leap, and that pause will save them. That pause will save both of you. This is the power of timing redeemed. This is the mercy that intercepts disaster. You were afraid to speak because you thought you had missed your moment. But heaven is saying, this is your moment. Do not underestimate the smallness of a single act of courage. Small keys open massive doors. One sentence can stop a storm. One truth can end a lie that ruled for months. Your soulmate does not need you to explain everything. They only need to feel chosen again. They only need to know they still matter. They only need to know your heart never left. Protection is being released over this connection right now. What was meant to destroy will detour. What was meant to separate will stall. What was meant to confuse will be exposed. The path that led them toward the wrong arms is being blocked, not by force, but by understanding. Heaven is placing a gentle hand on their decision and whispering your name into their doubt, because some battles are not won with swords. They are won with sincerity. Some destinies are not preserved with struggle. They are preserved with truth. And now that truth is rising in you, louder than fear. You feel the urgency in your chest. That is not anxiety. That is alignment. You feel the pull in your spirit. That is not obsession. That is remembrance. You feel the pressure to move. That is not panic. That is heaven saying now, this delay was never meant to end the story. It was meant to reveal what mattered. It stripped the illusion. It purified the desire. It exposed how deep this goes. For both of you, now the rebuilding begins. Not with fantasy, but with foundations. Do not rush in with demands. Walk in with peace. Do not reopen with fear. Reopen with honesty. Do not enter with expectations. Enter with presence. Let the first words be simple. Let the tone be gentle. Let the heart be visible. That is enough. You are not behind. You are on divine timing. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared. They were not abandoned. They were being protected from the wrong outcome. What almost happened will now become a testimony. What nearly broke them will now build them, and what felt like loss will now become alignment, because heaven specializes in reversals. Your soulmate is not falling into chaos. They are being rescued from it, and you are the instrument, not by striving, but by showing up. After this moment, the air between you changes, the energy shifts, the conversations soften, the walls lower, clarity begins to replace confusion, and safety begins to replace survival. The storm does not end instantly, but the direction changes immediately, and direction is everything. You will notice small signs after this, little confirmations, synchronicities, unexplainable peace. Their tone will shift. Their eyes will change when they see you again. Their exhaustion will lighten, not because everything is solved, but because hope returned. You may still have questions. So will they. But questions feel different when fear leaves the room. Healing does not require instant answers. It only requires the right heart posture. Heaven is placing a covering over this reconnection, not to force an outcome, but to protect the process. There are forces that wanted this to end in misunderstanding, but misunderstanding loses power when truth speaks. There were voices that fueled your silence, but their influence ends now. Fear's contract over your voice has expired, and courage is being restored. Not loud courage, quiet courage, the kind that sends one difficult message, the kind that makes one honest call, the kind that shows up trembling and changes everything. You are not walking into destruction. You are walking into restoration. You are not walking into rejection. You are walking into revelation. You are not walking into shame. You are walking into alignment. The season of misinterpretation is ending. The season of truth is beginning. And your soulmate will feel the shift before they understand it, because their spirit already knows yours. They have been waiting for permission to hope again. Your voice gives it. They have been fighting the urge to give up. Your presence ends that battle. They have been standing at the edge of something irreversible. Your movement pulls them back. This is divine protection in motion. This is rescue without spectacle. This is heaven working through a human voice. Yours. Do not be afraid of what happens next. Peace is guarding the path. Do not be afraid of what unfolds. Grace is managing the timing. Do not be afraid of your feelings. They are not your enemy. They are your compass. And now, the outcome begins to bend, not through force, but through alignment. Your soulmate is no longer alone at the edge, because you showed up. The reckless plan dissolves. The dangerous impulse weakens. The wrong door does not open, and the right one remains standing. This is the miracle you were waiting for. Not fireworks, but prevention. Not dramatic rescue, but quiet intervention. Not chaos undone, but chaos redirected. Heaven saved them by moving through you, and heaven saved you by awakening you. This story does not end in regret. It bends toward restoration. It bends toward clarity. It bends toward healing. And what felt like the brink becomes the beginning, because beginnings often hide inside near endings. You were not late. You were precisely on time. And now, the path is changing. Now that the silence has been broken, the atmosphere begins to soften. What once felt heavy starts to feel possible. The universe exhales with you. Heaven watches with quiet approval. You may not see the full picture yet, but the shift has already begun. Your soulmate will begin to reconsider every conclusion they rushed into. They will question the story they told themselves about you, not with bitterness, but with wonder. They will realize how close they came to walking away from destiny, and gratitude will flood where fear once ruled. They will not say it all at once, but their actions will reveal it slowly. A gentle change in tone, a deeper pause before decisions, a softness returning to their voice, a familiar warmth in their eyes. You will feel it before they explain it. because souls speak without language. This is the beginning of emotional healing. Not rushed, not forced, but real. Wounds will not disappear overnight, but they will finally be touched by light. What was avoided will now be faced. What was misunderstood will now be clarified. What was hidden behind pride will now come into the open. Because safety has returned. You will both stumble with words at first. That is normal. Healing does not arrive eloquently. It arrives honestly. There may be tears. There may be long silences. But this time, the silence will not mean abandonment. It will mean processing. It will mean listening. It will mean care. Heaven is teaching both of you how to meet in the middle. Without running. Without hiding. Without pretending. The fear of losing each other will slowly transform into the courage to choose each other. Not from desperation, but from clarity. You will begin to see why the delay was necessary. Why the separation refined you. Why the distance taught you what closeness truly costs. And why silence revealed what words never could. This was never punishment. It was preparation. You both had healing to do apart, so you could love without bleeding onto each other. Now the wounds are closing, and the timing is aligning. Protection surrounds this connection now, in ways you cannot detect. Plans that once threatened to interfere will quietly dissolve. Distractions that once pulled will lose their grip. People who would have complicated this will fall out of the path. Without confrontation, without chaos, without explanation. This is divine shielding. Subtle, gentle, effective. What is meant for you will no longer have to fight to survive. It will be allowed to grow. You will notice a strange calm in coming days, even when uncertainty remains. That calm is not from answers. It is from covering. You are being guarded as you take each step forward. So is your soulmate. Heaven is not rushing you now. Heaven is walking with you. The pressure you once felt will turn into peace. The urgency will become steadiness. And steadiness will become trust. Not blind trust, but grounded trust. Your soulmate will no longer feel the need to prove their worth through reckless choices. They will no longer feel driven to escape their pain, because the thing they were trying to escape from will be dissolving. Hopelessness will lose its voice, and longing will soften into anticipation. Not anxious anticipation, but hopeful expectation. You will both begin to imagine again. What once felt impossible will feel reachable, not because circumstances suddenly become perfect, but because fear no longer controls the narrative. This is emotional resurrection. Quiet, private, sacred, the kind that does not trend, but transforms. And through it all, heaven remains close, closer than you think. Every late night thought is heard. Every uncertain prayer is counted. Every trembling step is guided, even the ones taken in doubt. You are not navigating this alone. You never were. Your soulmate is not walking blind. They are being escorted through confusion, and little by little, the future rearranges itself, not dramatically, but deliberately. Do not rush what is now being restored with care. Fragile things grow stronger when handled gently. Do not demand instant clarity. Clarity matures with time and trust. Do not reopen old wounds as weapons. Let them become reminders of what you survived. This new foundation is not built on fantasy. It is built on truth. It is built on vulnerability. It is built on choice. Because destiny is not only about finding the right person. It is about becoming the right place for love to live. The storm that almost overtook your soulmate is passing. Because you moved when heaven whispered. The chaos that almost rewrote your story is fading. Because you chose courage over comfort. And now, peace begins to settle. Not the loud kind, but the kind that lets you sleep again. You will still have moments of doubt. They will too. But doubt no longer stands alone. It is now surrounded by hope, and hope changes everything. Remember this moment, the second everything could have gone wrong, and then didn't, because someone listened, because someone spoke, because someone chose love. This is how miracles often arrive, not with thunder, but with a message. And now, your story continues, not from the edge, but from the turning point. Rest your heart tonight. The danger has passed. The reckless decision has been interrupted. The wrong path has been blocked. Your soulmate is safe from the choice that would have shattered them, and you are safe from the regret that would have haunted you. Heaven kept you. Heaven warned you. Heaven walked you into alignment, and heaven is still near. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are right where grace meets obedience, and that is a powerful place to stand. Soon, you will notice the fruit of this moment, in conversations, in clarity, in calm, in the way your heart no longer feels like it is bracing for loss, but opening for possibility. This is the gentle beginning of something healed, something protected, something real. And if your spirit feels tender right now, that is because restoration is occurring. If your chest feels lighter, that is because the heavy possibility has passed. If your eyes feel full, that is because heaven touched this moment. You are seen. You are guided. You are not walking this alone, and you never will be. Stay open. Stay gentle. Stay listening. Now the waiting changes its meaning. It is no longer empty. It is now purposeful. It is now protected. What once felt like delay now feels like divine pacing. Every step has weight again. You will begin to sense a quiet confidence returning. Not loud certainty, but steady peace. Your soulmate will not rush into chaos anymore. Their spirit has been steadied. The urgency that once pushed them toward reckless comfort has faded, because truth has taken its place. They will begin to choose slowly, more thoughtfully. They will weigh words now. They will guard their heart differently. And this is not because they are afraid. It is because they are healing. You help restore that. With one act of obedience, one moment of courage, one interruption of silence. Never underestimate how heaven uses small movements. Destiny often turns on whispers. What could have shattered now strengthens. What could have ended now deepens. This is the mercy woven into love, the kind only heaven architects. There will still be work ahead. There will still be growth. But it is no longer survival work. It is building work. You are no longer trying to avoid loss. You are learning how to protect what remains. Your soulmate is no longer standing at the edge of escape. They are stepping into grounded choice. And that changes everything. You will notice fewer storms in your spirit. The inner noise will quiet. The panic that once surfaced at night will soften. You will breathe more deeply now. Your thoughts will slow. Your heart will rest. Not because every question is answered, but because fear is no longer leading. This is what divine protection feels like. Subtle, stable, steady. You are being covered in ways you will only understand later. Some battles you will never know you were spared from. Some doors you will never realize were closed on your behalf. Some distractions you will never see because they were removed before you could be hurt. Heaven is still guarding what you carried quietly for so long. Your love has never been invisible. Your loyalty has never been wasted. Your tears have never been ignored. Even the nights when you felt spiritually abandoned, you were being quietly held. Even the days when nothing seemed to move, things were shifting underneath. What felt like stillness was alignment. What felt like nothing was preparation. And now you are witnessing the evidence. Do not rush this season. Sacred things grow slowly. Do not measure this connection by past fear. Measure it by present peace. Do not revisit the edge you almost lost everything on. Stand instead on the ground you are rebuilding from. The storm has passed. You survived the warning. Your soulmate heard the interruption. And they listened. The reckless chapter closed before it could be written, and the next chapter opened quietly. This is not the loud miracle you imagined, but it is the kind that lasts, the kind that protects futures, the kind that saves stories. And now, heaven asks only one thing of you. Stay soft, stay honest, stay open. Do not retreat back into silence. Silence has already done enough. Do not armor your heart out of old fear. What you feared has already been intercepted. Trust the quiet peace that is settling. It did not come by accident. It came by alignment. It came by obedience. It came because you listened when heaven whispered. Your soulmate will continue to feel the difference. They will sense the shift even on hard days. They will no longer feel abandoned in the quiet. They will feel held in the waiting. And that changes how a person chooses. That changes how a person loves. This is how protection shows itself in human form. Through timing, through interruption, through courage, through one message that arrived before disaster. Your future did not collapse today. It turned. Your story did not end today. It realigned. Your love did not die in silence. It was revived by truth. And what nearly became regret is now becoming testimony. Softly, gently, surely, you will look back on this moment one day and realize how close you came to losing what mattered and how precisely heaven intervened. Through you. You were not chosen by accident. You were entrusted. You were not disturbed by coincidence. You were alerted. Heaven trusted you with this turning point, and you acted. That matters. More than you know. Now rest. The danger that hovered is lifted. Now breathe. The pressure that crushed you is easing. Now trust. The protection around this connection is active. And the same heaven that warned you will also keep you. You will not be left to navigate this alone. The same voice that interrupted will continue to guide. The same angels that watched the edge will now guard the rebuilding. The same grace that prevented the fall will now nurture the growth. You are not behind. You are not cursed. You are not weak for caring. You are aligned for obeying. And your soulmate, they are still here. Not lost. Not gone. Still breathing in the same story. Still standing in the same timeline. Because you moved. Let your heart be at peace tonight. What almost happened no longer holds power. What was about to break has been protected. What was about to be lost has been preserved. This is your reassurance. This is your covering. This is your quiet miracle. And if your spirit feels warm right now, that is not emotion alone. That is confirmation. Stay connected. Stay listening. The next message will speak about what unfolds after the protection settles, about the restoration that follows obedience. Do not miss it. Heaven is still writing, and your story is far from over. Your timeline has been corrected. Your path has been shielded. Your connection has been spared, and your heart has been steadied. This was not random. This was rescue. This was not coincidence. This was intercession. This was not imagination. This was instruction. And you listened. Heaven honors listeners. Heaven protects responders. Heaven walks with the willing. And tonight, heaven is walking with you. Let the night be gentle. Let your sleep be deep. Let your breathing slow. Let your nervous system rest. You do not have to guard tonight. You do not have to anticipate loss. You do not have to rehearse worst-case endings. Those endings no longer belong to this story. The chapter of almost is closing. The chapter of alignment is opening. And it is opening quietly, safely, surely. Hold this peace. Do not rush ahead of it. Let it anchor in you. Let it teach your body that danger is no longer imminent. Let it remind your spirit that obedience always carries covering. Even when the cost felt terrifying in the moment. You chose to move when fear wanted you frozen. You chose truth when silence felt safer. And that choice shifted more than you will ever see. You will understand it later, looking back, from a healed place, from a steadier season, from a future that almost never happened, except that heaven intervened through you. This is your quiet triumph. This is your unseen victory. No applause, no audience, just peace and preservation and destiny still breathing. Now, remain close. The next message will speak about how to walk forward without returning to old patterns. It will show you how to protect what has now been preserved and how to nurture what has now been rescued. Do not drift away in relief. Stay attentive in peace, because heaven is still guiding and your journey is still unfolding. You are safe for this moment. You are covered for this season. You are not alone in this story, and you never were. Rest now. The whisper has done its work, and heaven is still watching over you.